This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. One amp, up until very recently, that made a very lasting impression on me, and I think is underrated not just by guitar players but also by the manufacturers themselves. To me, it is the Suhr Bella. I'm not sure how well you're going to see that, but this little thing, a lot heavier than it looks actually, so I think it's £44, but this one has an EV speaker in it, so about an extra 6 kilos compared to normal. This is the Suhr Bella Reverb. This belongs to my buddy Jake. But you know, this is one of the things that I would have bought a Suhr Bella if I didn't already have Fender Pro Reverb, which is essentially not entirely dissimilar. They're based essentially on a similar circuit from around the same time. So obviously the Pro Reverb is an actual 1965 blackface amplifier. The Suhr Bella is based on Scott Henderson's Dumble modded Fender Bandmaster, and you know, so similar kind of starting points. And a bit of interesting lore here. I've just been reading on Scott Henderson's forum that essentially, basically, John Suhr offered Dumble that he would make amps for him, much like it does Jim Kelly. So they had a deal where Jim Kelly was able to sell more amps apparently through Suhr than he would have been able to make by himself. And I think Suhr is pretty respected in the amp game. Mr. Dumble turned that down. Scott also said that when he got his Suhr Bella, which I think in other places it has been said, I think by John at Suhr, that it definitely borrowed from that particular Dumble Bandmaster, right? He said he found the Suhr Bella sound better than his Dumble when he sold his Dumble. So that's pretty impressive. Hand wired, and I think if it said 2 rock on it, this would be probably 2 times the price. I think it sounds incredible in this video. I'm not plugging any pedals into it, it's just guitar straight into the input. The first time I tried the boost on it, which I think they take Fender's idea, which is, you know, having 2 inputs, one is 6 dB quieter than the normal input. Here instead your boost gives you a 6 dB boost at the front of the circuit. Actually works incredibly well. It's just so many good things about this amp, except it's been discontinued from what I've heard, and I've had that confirmed. So Bella is still going to be available, but the Bella Reverb is not, and I think the reverb on this does really sound incredible. So I'm a little bit sad about that, but I guess that's life. Good things come and they go. But yeah, this belongs to Jake. The Deluxe Reverb that I played recently of Jake's as well, I think has made also a bit of an impression on me. I think that's a lighter weight amplifier. Doesn't have an effects loop, which this does. I think the reverb is less useful, as well as kind of having the vibrato channel, which I think is a bit more scoopy and a bit more fizzy than this. This takes pedals incredibly well. That was kind of what Suhr sold it as, a pedal platform amp, which to me is sort of underselling what it can do, because in this video at the start there you saw it sort of cranked to 7. It's not just about pedals, in my opinion. It's really about a classic kind of Fender modded Dumble-y sort of great clean. But yeah, you can switch the effects loop in or out, and you can foot switch the boost as well. It's just an all-round great little amp. As I say, quite heavy. They do make a head format as well. But let me know in the comments if you think it sounds any good. Here's some of it kind of played now into the clean. I just wanted to give it a bit of loving. I've got a couple of more bits and pieces recorded with it, but we'll leave that for another day. Played a blues driver into it and also a Zen drive. Yeah, I think it just takes pedals really well. So the Suhr Bella is my favourite amp I think I played on this channel. I've played some really nice amps, by the way, you know, like a 2-rock traditional clean, 2-rock silver, whatever they call it, the SSS, the 2-rock classic reverb signature, you know, lots of cool stuff, to be honest, lots of mezzo boogies, but this one sticks out in my memory. The only thing I don't find useful on it at all is the bright switch. So it's quite a bright amp as it is, I think, and that bright switch to me, all the way off, is still quite bright. Jake tends to run with presence off, and I kind of tend to agree. And then the bright switch has got, you know, add some brightness and add even more. Might be useful for maybe humbucker guitars or cutting through if you're using a lot of drive or something like that, but to me that bright switch off seems to work best with like a Strat. Let me know if you're a Bella Reverb fan, and yeah, here's some more playing.